Hey, I am here with the Mini Jam 71 doing first impressions, feedback, my thoughts, the video. And I'm here with Slime Grinder, and I am curious. It is apparently turn based puzzle, so the restriction of the jam is you had to combine two genres. You couldn't just have a single genre game. And so, yeah. I didn't read much of the description. I don't think the description was actually very long. A fun turn-based puzzle game. Yeah, so that's it. So let's get right into it. Arrows slash WASD to move. Space press buttons. Escape to close. Gotcha. Oop, that's loud. Doesn't sound like there's any music though, which is a little sad. Music can really spice up the feel of a game. So attack. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Doesn't feel like there's any insta dropping. Am I supposed to get like a Tetris? No, okay, so it's match 3. Gotcha. Player attacks. Hits for 3 damage. So I have to hit space to progress it. Okay. Gotcha. Hits for 10 damage. Okay. Yeah, so if it doesn't let me like spam click down, which is really unfortunate. I really wish I could just like hit down as fast as possible. But I can't. I have to hold it. It's like all or nothing. Damn. 3 damage. Okay, let's see if I can... Let's see how healing works. Okay. I like this kind of like RPG as mini games mechanics. Or like the well, God fault. I heals for 18. Man, I can heal for a lot. So does he do a random amount? Okay. Oh, this is not that much time. I guess it's not bad though, because it's kind of like... Oh my god. Green. No, I was hoping that would be green. Hit for 3 damage. Hey, I missed. Okay. Yeah, I think the game feel would be 10 times better if you could tap down really fast, like if there wasn't a limit to the speed. I don't know if making it like kind of this way was to fix a bug or not, because that's a very real possibility. Damn, look at that those blocks I got. Oh well. 3 damage. 13 HP. Okay. So I think it's gonna be like an infinite thing. I gotta kill enemies. Yeah, with God, being able to spam tap down would make this so much faster. Or just do the Tetris thing of hitting up to instantly drop. Does it work that way? Doesn't look like it. If I just like keep holding down, I can just like... That's probably a better strat. Just get really good at that. Feels like I'm doing way more damage than I should be. Yeah, I do 12 per thing now. What the hell? That's a lot. So he did 14 damage as well. So I'm kind of like pseudo leveling up. This is really cool though. Yeah, the all or nothing speed hurts a lot though. If I was able to just like spam click downwards, I'd be able to, I think, go really far. jeez. Man, RNG does not like me. That goes for... I think what might work is reducing the amount of damage you do per stack and just increasing the amount of time. Because I think what should happen is you should reward the player for, like... You should give the player enough time that RNG can't screw them as hard. Like I'm here. Like I have 2 piles that could have been more damage, but... Keep forgetting that to click. Although, I seem like the whole more damage thing and more HP thing seems pretty irrelevant if I can just like one-shot them with 2 or 3 piles each time, no matter what. Like I think, oh my god. Yeah. I think if I do like 2 or 3 piles, it doesn't matter how much HP they have because I do way too much damage. I don't know if that's a bug or not. Yeah, like I've done more than half his HP, so 2 piles is lethal. Which means it feels like that means it's expected that you're only supposed to get 1 pile. I'm gonna heal. 11. Yeah, honestly, I don't think you need to make the player do more damage over time. Oh, jeez. Because, like... Because I feel super powerful. Oh my god. That was close. 25 damage. But man, this is such an awesome concept. Like, mini-games to kind of determine your... Feels kind of Undertale-y just because it is, like... The combat is, like, kind of... Everything's white and black, except for the enemy art. Oh god. Oh my god, I was just hoping. Oh lol, I got lucky. This is strangely engaging though. I'm actually like really enjoying this. Yeah. Like let me just kind of like let me try something quickly. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna turn on a little bit of music. Just like listen. I'm just gonna listen to some music while doing this and see how much spicier it feels. Man, I really wish there was fast tapping. Like just tapping down so I could also having to hold it feels really clunky. It feels like like it feels all for nothing. I've said it a few times so I won't go into detail, but it feels like either I go fast or I go slow, and too fast is too fast and too slow is too slow. Cuz like you can't go slow cuz you reduce your amount of damage, which I think is actually kind of neat. Like, what if I just let Jesus take the wheel on this one? Come on. Hey, we got one. Wait, you got 2. Wait, that worked. Will that always just, like, somehow bless me with, like, a kill? I'm not liking these odds. Yeah, in half the amount of time. Oh, I got 1.
I was lucky to have survived that.
Oh wait, I got like 3. What? But yeah, I don't know if you can like kind of get a feel for it, but man, just having music for things like this just instantly makes creates a lot more interest. I'm probably gonna get only 1 hit. So this is an infinite gameplay model, and something that I don't know, because I don't know how much the it feels like the HP, the enemy HP scales way slower than my attack does. Like, I heal for 59, he misses. when you have an infinite gameplay model like this, something that you're going to want to do is, I've talked about it a lot during game jams because you get a lot of endless models because you don't usually have time to do like level select or anything. Like game jams are tight and endless models can take a. But something you want is a sense of inevitability. Inevitability literally just being like, eventually you have to lose. You have to kill the player eventually. They can't go forever. And if they can, it can't be forever. It has to be just for a very long time before it just becomes stupid. Or there has to be a reason to stop. Like, if you go on forever, like, it's so much less satisfying than having a good run end. Because when you create inevitability, eventually it just becomes this feeling of, oh god, I have to keep this run going because I've been going for this run for like 30 minutes and I'm not gonna have a run this good ever again, maybe. So it creates this tension. But when you can go on forever, it's just like, well, how long? It's like have you ever? It's like Endless Easy in Mario Maker. I've been watching a series of somebody basically doing Endless Easy. And, it's kind of a meme because it's mostly just him suffering. Because there's no threat. There's, like, he almost never dies. And when he does die, there's, like, usually a level that just gives you 50 free not 1-ups. But it's, like, the video series is interesting because it's just watching this guy, like, suffer through things that are really, like, tedious. And he cracks jokes the entire time, so makes it a good watch. But, it feels like the player scaling is just super high. Like, I'm gonna kill everything in one shot if I land 2, and landing 2 isn't that hard. Some ways to do inevitability would probably be to reduce the amount the player scales. You don't want them one-shotting everything, because leveling up feels like it does nothing right now. I'm trying. Sorry, my tone sounds a little harsh. I'm just giving my honest feedback. This game's pretty cool though, like the concept, and I like the slimes. I love slimes. Like, I have such a bias towards slimes. They're one of my favorite default enemies, and I think I got it because Dragon Quest has, like, really unique slimes, and I love the generic enemies are, like, just something I really like when they're done in cool ways. And, yeah, I like this. Good visual style. The presentation generally is overall. I would like more sound effects and audio, though. Like, music, sound effects maybe on the blocks moving. That would be nice. There's so many little things that could go into polish, but you know, it's a game jam, 3 days. But yeah, inevitability. Ways that you could have achieved it is lower the player scaling, increase enemy scaling. That way, the more enemies start feeling more and more like a threat. Like, eventually, you'll just come across an enemy that you have to play perfectly against, and even if you play perfectly, they just outdamage you. And that doesn't feel like that happens here. Here, it just feels like I one-shot every enemy because I gain more damage than they gain health every level. So I feel like eventually I'll literally just one-shot them without even having to get 2 piles. I only would need 1 pile. Well, I get 60 right now. Am I already there? I'm almost there. So let's see. He went up 3 HP, I think? And I went up... Well, let's find out. So if you were to develop this into a full thing, obviously all the polish things, I went up 3, he went up 3. Are we going up the exact same rate? Well, let's see. What's the... Yeah, we're going up at the exact same rate, which means he will never not get one shot by me, which means that there's literally no difficulty curve. Actually, wait, did I go up? Not to, God, I'm coming across aggressive. But, yeah, I mean, 3 days. Balance is a pain. Balance is hard. Oh crap, I didn't mean to heal. Oh god. I'm really bad at the heal minigame. But even then, I think I've like already out-healed his damage. I think maybe the biggest threat to my run probably is him scaling to the point that he one-shots me. Although my HP goes up too. But I think the biggest threat to me is his damage scaling to the point where he can one-shot me. Problem is I don't know what his HP scales off, or like scales from, because... Oh, nice damage. Because he never damages me.
What are you doing going home with a creek, you man? Alright.
But I'm curious. I could go on forever, I think. I don't think there's ever going to be a point where... I think another thing is... So, when you think endless like systems, you think like... Or some people think like... Old arcade games like Donkey Kong Pac-Man are technically endless. But, I don't know if you know about the, arcade machines have kill screens. Basically, if you finish a, if you do perfect loops of the, maps too many times, eventually it'll just kill you. It's just, you stop here. And one of the reasons they kind of have to do that eventually isn't just inevitability, but also because inevitability devalues high scores. A high score means nothing if technically it comes down to endurance. When you don't have inevitability, the high score literally just means who has the most patience to sit here and do the same thing forever. So that's kind of an important aspect of inevitability. Like, I think it's one of the most important things for an endless game. Oh, I botched this one. Never mind, saved, lol. Something that might have been interesting is, again, 3 days, not enough time. Like, I'm not saying, hey, you shouldn't, how could you not do this? It's 3-day jam, like, but yeah, inevitability. Ways to do that aren't completely frustrating. Get rid of the heal option. If little screw-ups slowly tick away at you, eventually the player will have to die. Like, there's no way to go infinite, or like, well, good enough players will be able to go infinite, but then you should introduce a difficulty curve. Maybe introduce, like, maybe make this puzzle, like, one way would just to make this harder. Automatically, every few levels, speed up how fast you have to go. That wouldn't work for, like, an actual RPG, because that would be like, oh, why would I level up? It makes the puzzle harder and I do less damage because I'm less good at it. But in an endless format, it would be better that way. If you imagine this more as, like, a open world RPG, like a story-based RPG with interesting gameplay, what would probably be better is just enemy design, stronger enemies over time. That's pretty basic. You don't have to worry about inevitability with that sort of genre. So again, it depends on how you want to take this game. If you want to take it down the endless route, inevitability would be super important. I mean, this is all hypothetical. This is just me giving thoughts of like what you could have done or what you could do. But don't feel any pressure to like continue working on a jam entry. It's a game jam. One and done is how I tend to do my jams. Man, this is strangely fun though. Like, I am enjoying this. It's one of those things that seeing bigger numbers over time is really satisfying. Like, inherently for some reason. That's why a lot of JRPGs get off with, like, really, with pretty, in my opinion, generic gameplay. There are really good JRPGs, I'm not saying there aren't. And, in fact, it's one of my favorite genres. But, a lot of games in that genre do get away with just, like, less interesting gameplay because their numbers are spicy, because they're satisfying. Big numbers are really fun, and I do get that from this. Like, seeing the damage number go up over time is probably why I've been playing as long as I have. And I like there being a skill element involved in RPG systems. Like, you can never go wrong with, like, Paper Mario obviously is an example of, like, having a little bit of interaction with how your skills are calculated is really nice. When whether or not you kill the enemy is completely up to a coin flip and you have no way of influencing that coin flip, can be really frustrating. Of course, the one I placed had to be the one that blocked. Wait, did he just survive a double? No, he survived a single because I literally do 100 damage on my singles. But yeah, even up to this point, like, being this over leveled feels almost meaningless because I don't... Well, because I one-shot the enemies, basically. Or because I kill the enemies in the same amount of hits. Nothing has changed mechanically since I started playing. Which is, again, game jam. It's to be expected. But obviously this is just like a prototype showing this is what the combat could be like. And I think if this was a combat system for like a bigger RPG, and it was like to be expanded for like that format, obviously a lot of feedback. The score would be or redundant at that point. I feel like the score is probably there literally because it's an endless model, and that's fine. But yeah, one way to make an inevitability again, make the enemy's HP scale faster than your damage does. Otherwise, you get into the situation where you always kill them in the same amount of turns, and since you attack first, and they never get to counterattack. Another way is just to make the enemies attack first. That is, and make healing limited, or harder, or weaker. But yeah. Cool entry though. Like, I do like this. That one sound effect is all you really need. For now. I mean, of course, more sound effects would be better. Am I about to not get a single one? No, I got one. Nice, I killed it. Yeah, also the puzzle is not so hard that, like, this mode isn't that hard that you won't ever... If you're, like, pretty decent at this sort of thing, I feel like you will never miss. It's, like, not hard to overkill things. I'm level 39 or 38. But yeah, very basic game. There isn't too much to talk about, but I have a feeling of, like, if you wanted to expand something like this, let the player tap down, and once they pull down up, instantly reset the down. And hitting down should be instant. I don't think there's any reason for the hitting down to be a delayed thing. Yeah, this is pretty fun though. I like watching these fall. Can I get the double? Ooh. Seems like it doesn't break when I do that, which is kind of nice. Like, as much as you'd expect it to, I mean. A 300 attack. I actually have to do well on this because I might actually die. What have I been taking damage from? I guess I missed once, right? Oh, RNG, please. Man, the enemy hit rate's kind of low. Have they been damaging me even though I've been killing them? I should check that. Or did that one I missed just do a ton of damage? Okay, it does 88. Yeah, if you want it to be more Tetris-like too, I know this isn't exactly Tetris, but hitting up to instantly teleport the piece to the bottom would be really nice. Well, I got up to 8,000 points. I don't know if I should keep going or not. Played it for quite a while now, considering. But yeah, very basic entry. Nothing like super fancy with this. It is basically just, hey, go on forever. But yeah, it is, I will say, its description didn't lie. It is a fun turn-based puzzle game. I enjoyed that actually quite a bit. 1.2. Or changes to the leveling system. The way Quick Drop works is confusing, as mashing down doesn't really work, only holding it does. Agreed. No, the game isn't very responsive to pressing or releasing down. It doesn't make it does make the match 3 a little more interesting as you choose to hold down and react to what you get. Yeah, again, it is like an all for nothing system. Since the player healing and damage per turn doesn't increase while the enemy does, the game eventually gets very slow, and you have to heal more and more, and it takes more attacks turns to defeat the enemy. At level 11, enemy damage and hit HP are very close. I don't know if enemy damage ever outpaces healing because I didn't bother continuing my run further. So this guy's right. Like, obviously you probably patched this, and I had the version that was probably over-tuned for that. It does get really slow if your damage doesn't keep up, because eventually you will just hit a brick wall. But I don't think the solution is just to make it as it is with the being able to go infinitely. Because I think what should probably happen is the enemy's damage should scale higher. Again, it's a delicate balancing act. Like, if it goes on forever, it gets boring because you're just sitting there going on forever. But in this exact situation, just increasing the enemy HP, it just becomes like, eventually, if you're playing well, it's just a grind fest where you have to jump back and forth. But he's right about the quick dropping. Like, I feel like it should be faster, and you shouldn't have to hold it. But yeah, cool entry though. Like, it's not a easy thing to balance. I'm trying to think of a way to do inevitability in this method, because obviously there was an issue where the game became too much of a crawl because there was inevitability. Eventually it would become too hard to progress. That's how it works. But I think making the game go on forever is almost a worse situation, because then you're just playing until you're bored, and you don't want somebody's final impression of your game to be, I'm bored. Like, because I think that might affect your ratings specifically, because people will just play and then they'll be like, okay, I'm bored, and that's how they remember it. While with inevitability, they think, oh man, obviously it'll be too late to update this now, but one way you probably could have done it: enemy HP, enemy damage scales, like probably how you had it before, but make a mini game for dodging. Make it so that when the enemy's attacking, another minigame plays, and you have to, like, do that minigame to reduce the amount of damage you take. That way, that minigame becomes harder as you have to reduce the damage more and more, without becoming a drag fest. Because basically, you can have it so that you and the enemy just, them being a drag because of so much HP doesn't matter as much, because you're still engaged and not dying. Taking so long to kill an enemy can be an issue, but what you could do is you could literally just have it how it was, except make it so that only like god runs can one-shot an enemy. Make it so that on average you'll need to double or triple hit an enemy rather than one hit them, so that you always have to play that dodge minigame. And then because I think with an endless model you want to have that feeling of, okay, I'm stopping because that last run was godlike. And if they don't have that feeling, you want them to think, maybe one more. Those are the two thoughts. I'm done because that run was good, or maybe one more. Those are the two thought processes. I think in both of these cases that you probably have ended up with, you either end up with, I'm done because I'm bored, or I'm done because this is taking too long to do a run. More enemies could have helped that. It's kind of a hard challenge. Like, this is a hard design challenge. It's not there's no easy solution here. But I think a mini game for dodging, and just make the enemy scale better. Like, maybe not as much HP, but make their damage scale more, and just make it so you do a mini game to reduce their damage. That way, one of the problems with healing, right, in this game, is you heal, and then you get hit, and then either you have to be okay with being at low HP, or you just keep healing until they miss. And that's probably the problem this guy had, which is he spent like 5 turns in a row healing because he needed to. So I think a minigame to dodge would have been really good. The feel on the dropping would have been nice. Mashing down, being able to mash down or like hit up to insta drop it to the bottom, like that would have been really good. Sorry if I came across really like going way into much detail, but I'm gonna go into the ratings. I've been recording myself doing the ratings and giving my thoughts on why I gave it what it was. So enjoyment, I will say, I do have a negative impression because I did leave because I was like, well, I've seen everything. I'm bored. I'm getting bored. I played this for like 20 minutes and I don't feel challenged anymore. So I'm gonna probably take like 1 or 2 stars off for just that alone. Sorry. I think my enjoyment is hurt a little bit by the presentation as well, so I'm probably going to leave it at 3. I think I probably would have enjoyed it more if there was music, and not a short track either. It would have had to been like something long enough that it doesn't feel like it's looping very often. If it was too short, then it would get really, really repetitive and irritating. Concept, I love the concept. Really cool idea of turn-based RPG plus puzzle game. It's kind of Undertale-y in that it's, except you have it on the offense rather than defense, while Undertale's like a bullet hell where you dodge. I don't know if you were going for Undertale vibes, but I just got Undertale vibes because of the UI and color. Presentation was great. I'm only going to take a point off because there's no audio. I think the audio work could have maybe. Okay, so there's 3 things I think would have given this a 5-star. I would have given 5-star presentation if more audio on more of the actions and maybe in the puzzles, including music, a soundtrack, a main menu. I think a main menu just makes a more professional feel when you launch the game. Actually, wait, this game had a main menu, didn't it? What am I talking about? I just played it for like a long time. Oh no, it didn't. Never mind, I'm thinking of a different game. So a main menu would make it feel a lot more professional. And particle effects and animations. Maybe when you hit the enemy, maybe just have them like bob up and then down instantly, and maybe a particle effect on them to make it really clear their hit, and a sound effect. And then when they attack you, maybe make a like swoosh sound for misses and a hit. But I think a defensive minigame would have helped a lot. A lot. Use of limitation, boom, 5. I'm pretty much giving 5 to anybody who actually combined 2. It's basically you're a 4 if you combined 2 genres, you're a 5 if you've, or maybe a 3 sometimes, depending. It's like, for me, for use of limitation, there's only 3 levels to it. So it's kind of like used. I'll start from 3. This is basically the minimum I'm giving on use of limitation. This is if you basically didn't combine 2 genres, you just have 1 genre with maybe another genre stapled on. 2, I would probably, maybe I'll give 2s to any game that like doesn't follow the limitation at all, but yeah. But yeah, 2, I'm giving 3s to any game that like basically just stapled the other genre on as an afterthought. The 4 stars I'm giving to anything that combined 2 genres very well, but they're not a very interesting or unique combo. And 5 I'm giving to just like anything that has a unique or interesting combo. So it's a 5. This is a really cool combo. Like I really like the idea. I think there's a game being developed, and I follow the Twitter for it, that they release GIFs that's kind of like doing something like this. It's kind of turn-based, and the attacking is a mini-game. It's very Undertale inspired, according to the devs, where although it might only be defensively, it's hard to tell. But yeah, this is a really cool entry. Really cool. I liked it. I don't know if I came across like overly negative or anything, but really cool entry. Congratulations on making this. Oh wait, cancel. One guy. Oh, it's Game Maker. Okay. Holy shit, that's a lot of cookies, dude. I'm glad you survived. I just gotta see what people say. Oh yeah, this could be cool too. Yeah, this was my problem. It became infinite because of how easy it was. He only needed one. Oh, well, I guess somebody already gave you the feedback. Well then. But yeah, really cool entry. Sorry if I sounded harsh during the entire, like, a lot of it, but 20 minutes will do that too. Anyways, uh, good work on the jam. Cheers. And I guess I want to throw in if any of this sounds like, well, I mean, I was considering it, but 3 days is 3 days. Yeah, like so many things don't get thought of, or having time to balance things in a 3 day span. Usually, it's not a high priority. So this was still really like this was fantastic. Good job. Good work. Cheers.